What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Create Above and Beyond, and today we are going to be setting up 4 times ore processing. We are finally going to be setting up the highest tier of ore processing available to us in all of Create Above and Beyond. So you will never get anything more than 4 times ore processing, and it's definitely overkill. It's going to be a pretty fun thing to set up today, but I'm just going to say it right now. This is probably way more than you will ever need. But right now we are currently running with that large foundry setup over there that we did probably like 4 episodes ago at this point. And this is probably as far as most people are going to need to go if they even need to get this far. This is like 2 and like a 10th times ore processing, I think. So it's not that great compared to overall modded Minecraft, but for Create Above and Beyond, it should be fine. What we're going to do today requires a lot more complex stuff. So if we take a look at my inventory, there's a lot going on here, including a couple of different things from Applied Energistics too. So the main important thing, the matter condenser, and then we have a 1K ME storage component, both of which are going to be necessary for setting this whole thing up. So we're going to head on over to this little cave that I dug out in the wall way over here. It's been a while since we've been over here to do pretty much any work, but this little area right here, I decided I finally wanted to carve into this little mountain and do some building in here. And so I made the bold decision to make a 4 tall and 4 wide tunnel, which I think will be a fun challenge for setting some of this stuff up and not losing it when there is no middle block, but I may regret that decision in the future. Either way, though, we're going to be setting this up right over here. Now, before we get into actually setting this up and building any of it, if we want to pop open our quest book and go to the metallurgy tab, we can quickly run through how this is going to work. Now, I did say that this is 4 times ore processing, but I want to preface this whole little run through we're about to do by saying that yes, technically, this first step, which could be fortune, could bring this up to, and I say this with air quotes, 8 times ore processing, but I don't really count the fortune because I'm considering what happens after you've actually mined the ore and you are processing the crushed version of it. Now, we can debate for hours on if that's actually okay to do, but I just don't like considering the fortune because it seems disingenuous to say that it's actually 8 times when in reality, I don't think it actually is. So we're just going to start from here, but assuming that we start with the crushed ore, we've already gone to the pulverizer. Now, this is the best for this set of tier right here, and it's going to be 1 to 6. Now, once we have the pulverizer, we get out our dust, and from here, we've only ever gone up to the foundry, which is 1 to 3. But the next step and the highest step is the superheated mixing, which is another 1 to 6, which leaves us at 1 to 36 right here. Then obviously we come down to the liquid and to ingot casting, which is going to be 9 to 1. So dividing 36 by 9, you are left with 4 ingots. So we have our 4 times ore processing using this setup right here. Not that I really need to map it out. Obviously, we are all math geniuses here and can easily do 6 times 6 divided by 9. And that's going to be our setup for today. So that probably doesn't sound that complicated, right? Right? If we take a look though, it requires a lot of stuff in here. And so it's going to be a fair bit to set up. And the limiting factor for this will be something that is easily increased at simply producing random blocks. And that'll make sense in a little bit. But what I'm going to do right now is clear out maybe like, we'll just clear out a decent chunk of the wall right here, because we are going to need to build into this wall. I think I want maybe like 1 little bit sticking out right here, but the rest of it is going to be hidden away. And I think probably like, it's going to be probably 4 high, but I think maybe 5 long should be fine for the size. So I'm just going to clear out maybe another block or 2 here. And then we should be good to start setting this up. And it's good that I'm getting cobble because, wow, I actually broke that one there. See, now this is going to bother me. You know what? We got to go back 1 further then. I don't have any stone to replace it with, and it's going to bother me. So, and now there's coal on the wall. I'm not mining it. We're just leaving it there. It is an accent on the wall to make it look nicer. But this is the area we're going to set this up in for now. Really not that big of an area, but again, you can expand upon what we're going to do today to make it a little bit faster. So the basis for setting this up is going to be the mechanical mixer and a blaze burner and a basin. So we can just kind of arbitrarily set this up like we'll just do it right in the middle, and then we'll put down our basin, and then finally we'll put down our mixer. So really nothing special going on here with this setup where you just have the typical mixer, which is going to have to be put up to like 30 plus RPM. So we'll probably do 32. Actually, we'll probably end up at 40 because we'll be doing soul sand water wheels. But we've got this here and it needs to mix with, if we take a look at the recipe, let's just go to crushed ore and let's take a look at the uses for this. So if we take a look at the uses, we pulverize it into dust. Now we've got the foundry melting right here. But if we come over and go to mixing, if we mix 3 dust with a matter ball and it's superheated, we get out 288 millibuckets of this. And there we go. Then it's done. Then we just cast this and we're done. So to get the matter ball, we need to condense matter in a matter condenser to make those, and they're consumed every operation. So right now we need to be putting in our dust into here, and we also need to be putting our matter balls in here. So the first thing that we can start out with, and we also need, I guess, to be supplying the blaze cakes down here to make this superheated. That's another part of this that we'll be dealing with today. But we're going to start out by putting down our pulverizer, and we're simply going to go right into the back right here, and we're just going to put down our pulverizer. And you know what? I'm actually going to place it down like this, and we're probably going to have to rotate it again, honestly, because we should rotate it so it's facing, let's do this way, because nothing's going to be able to go in the face of it, and we need a couple additional inputs. So we're going to have this going in the back. Doesn't really matter which side it's going in, but then we're going to grab out a barrel, and it does need to be a barrel. It cannot be a chest, and we're going to put that down right here. So as I always like to do with the mechanical mixer or press with a basin under it, we're going to actually make use of the space between these two because, as I always say here, we do not care about physics on this channel, okay? We will obey the laws of physics if they apply in the world, but in this case, they don't. And so stuff can go right through this, and we're just going to run with it. So this barrel right here is where we're going to put our ores eventually that we get. Not that I'm getting a ton of them. I really don't go mining. I basically just buy everything now. But for those of you that do actually go mining, that's where you'll put them. Then we're going to put in a modular reconfiguration augment into the pulverizer, along with a reinforced integral component. And then we are going to configure this. And if the front is over here, that means that the input is going to be from the left, and the output is obviously very clearly to the bottom. And this will make sure that none of the inputs actually get sucked out of the hopper and put in this basin. So right there, that's it for the dust going in here. That's pretty simple. Not too bad, right? Now, obviously, this is going to be a little bit of a bottleneck if you're able to speed up the matter balls enough. So then it's going to be upgrading this with a couple like flux linkage amplifiers or something in here to speed it up a bit. You should never need more than one pulverizer though. If you do, I just kind of question, where you're getting your ore from, like the black market or something. I don't know, but this should be enough for now. So the next thing we need to do is let's quickly get our superheating element to this. So we're going to put down a deployer acting on the blaze burner, and this is going to go right here. And we're actually going to rotate this. Now, let me see if I can, we got to come, oh my gosh, I think we have to come on this side. You know what? We got to break this then, because I think we need to rotate it on the back to get this input facing up. Now that's because, and I can just quickly do this right now. I usually don't do this on camera, connecting the rotation, but this is how we're going to connect these, just right like that. Super easy right there. And this deployer will then act on this blaze burner. We need to get the blaze cakes in there though to superheat it. So again, another hopper going in over here should be good. And then we're going to get the blaze cakes just by trading for them. Now, obviously that's, whatever. It's not the best. You know what? Actually, we could probably make this even nicer if let's get rid of this. Oh no, he's holding it now. Give me that back. We could put it, we're going to abuse physics again. We're going to save a little bit of space. Let's abuse physics again. And this can act through this. So we're just going to put that here, and then we'll put the trade station here so we can have these closer together because they both need power. And we're also going to need some silver coins for this and something else in a minute. So this trade station can trade for blaze cakes. If we take a look at the market, the shipments, and we come down here, we can trade for blaze cakes, and it's only 16 silver. Honestly, that's really not that bad. I mean, it's the same price as it would cost 3 times as much to get an ender pearl as to get a blaze cake, which amazes me. That astounds me that that's actually the case. So we're just going to trade for it, and we can grab out, we need our 10 silver, which should be in our bag. We got plenty of silver in there. And then let's trade for the blaze cake import, which can go right in here. Now, because we've got the trade station, this does not need any upgrades. This is going to be more than fast enough. We're not going to use that many blaze cakes up, and I'm not even going to disable this. You could very easily make it so that if you don't have anything in here other than the matter balls, that you don't actually make this superheated. I'm just going to let this run 24/7 because I don't care enough to put the redstone down, and the blaze cakes will work for so long. You're going to get such a backup in here, as we will see if we let it run for a bit. So now what we're going to do is use 2 Invar flux ducts to connect these. And I would just put the numismatic dynamo right down here up, but we need to get an input into this trade station for silver coins. So the way I'm going to get around that is by putting another one over here. And then if we grab out our numismatic dynamo, I think this is the last one that I have, and then put it down here. And oh my gosh, I'm always so bad at rotating these properly. Let me just grab out some cobblestone so I can orient this. It only wanted to rotate on one axis. Okay, there we go. So now it's facing up. We have the arrow here to make sure it's inputting power. Nice. And then we can easily just grab out our item pipes and put it down right there. And we do have to grab out our pipe wrench because this is going to try to connect to this hopper right here probably. We don't want that. And then what I'm going to do is just come right around, probably right over here for now. And I'm just going to manually bring in my silver coins. Now I am going to eventually ender chest them over here, but I haven't actually gone and automated the ender mechanisms, whatever those are called yet. So I'll do that eventually, but I'm just going to manually bring them over here for now. So I should have a couple of drawers sitting around here. It can just go right here and we can lock it. And then we can slap our silver coins in there. So we'll lock it and let's get out our silver coins. Okay, so we got 2 stacks and then some. So we can verify that these both completely fill up. And this is in fact going to need a reinforced integral component to run faster. I might need more upgrades in here too to power both of these at the same time. But then all we're going to do is put a retrieval module here. And then it will only pull the ones that it needs. And I'm realizing right now that I need a filter because each one of those will always need a filter. And then we got to clear up a spot to access it with an empty hand. So there we go. And there we go. Now it should pull out of here at 8 at a time with the medium one. Should go into one of these. And then the minute it goes in here, yep, it'll start powering this. And then the minute this gets some silver coins in there and 16, it will start trading, which will then go in here, which will then superheat this. So I'm going to have to bring more silver coins over here. This is going to run out fast, but we should be able to verify. Yep. Okay, and it didn't actually superheat it because there's no rotational power in there. I totally forgot, but that's actually the case. So when I eventually bring it in, which will probably be like putting a gearbox right here and some water wheels back there or something, then it'll start working. But now we've got the blaze cake input set up to superheat it. We've got the input for our pulverized ores, so we've got the dust coming in. And the last thing is just to set up the matter balls, which, I mean, it's probably the hardest part of this to actually get running, but it's really not that complicated in the grand scheme of things. So if we take a look at the matter condenser, again, same setup over here. We are going to hopper in from a matter condenser. I'm going to be honest, this is looking a little bit out of place here. The purple and the gray and the white it looks nice, right? But it looks a little bit out of place. But the way the matter condenser works is you will put items in here, and I believe this can just trash items. It can also condense them into matter balls at 256 per item. Now, I believe to make this work, you do in fact need, if we take a look at this, it's 0 out of 0. You do need some form of storage component in here. Obviously, you would just go with the 1K. I don't believe there's any benefit to going with any of them that are higher than this. You go with the cheap 1K, which we can now make because we have the calculation mechanisms. And then you make sure you set this where you can make singularities at a lot per item. And then you can also make the matter balls at 256. So that's really not that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. And so the way that we're going to make the matter balls is simply by inputting a bunch of random junk in here. And I think the easiest and most sustainable way, and I could be wrong, but the easiest and fastest and most sustainable way to do this is using igneous extruders. Now, I'm sure there's ways with Create to also generate a lot of items and whatnot, but I think that's going to require a lot more work than it's worth. And expanding with igneous extruders will be really easy. And we can at least upgrade these with components. I don't think there's any other upgrades that work on these because it requires no power. So things like the flux linkage amplifier and stuff like that won't work, but the components will. So all we're going to do is come back here, and I got to clear out another area, but we're going to pretty pipe down from here. And that means that right here we can start, and we're just going to put down 3. And we need to orient them properly, because something I learned is that when you put down the igneous extruders, it actually has 2 very specific sides that it needs stuff on. It can't just be any of the 2 sides. It seemed like, at least when I put it down. So if we put it down like this, we'll have the left and the right. And we are going to have to grab out. I went and filled up my Edelwood lava bucket. I love this thing. I'm so glad I found this early on because it saved me, because it holds 3 things of lava. But we're going to put the water down here and make sure that registers. See, it didn't register. What the heck? If I rotate these, will it register? No. Did I put it down in the wrong way? Do I need to make them the other way around? What the heck? Okay, what about that? Does that register? Why is it not registering? It should be registering water. Do I need to rotate them the other way? What if I put this down like this? What? Am I being stupid? What if I put down the lava? What if I put down all the lava? Okay, so it just wasn't registering the water until the lava was down. Okay, I'm stupid, but whatever. Just pretend that didn't happen. Now, I actually should be pretty careful around this, so I might just like kind of cover this up right now so I don't accidentally fall in there, but this is generating cobble. Now, one of the nice things is you can upgrade this, and if we take a look, just like that, and then look in here, now it generates 3 every operation. Look at how fast that is. Now, when you are pulling with a medium retrieval module, at least, not an extraction from each of these, that might be faster, but when you are pulling with a medium retrieval module, 3 of these will be the perfect amount to keep up with the rate at which it can pull at. Now, if you were to pull with the high tier one, which is more expensive, you can pull 64 at a time instead of 8. So that could be a lot more of these working together, but we are going to put them like this. And then we got to pipe wrench yet again, a fair bit of stuff. So no to the hopper, no to, oh, okay, no, there's no input there, right. So then there, and now the real decision is, do we want to have the extraction modules? We can honestly, and I didn't test this with extraction, but we can try the extraction and see if this works better, because these, you really don't need to worry. The typical fear that I have is oversending. And with a retrieval module, if you don't know, you can avoid oversending with a retrieval module because it's only going to pull items when it has room at the inventory it's at. Now, if you pull items, it'll pull any item it can. So it's looking like this actually would allow us to have as many as we want because each individual one is gated, whereas pulling from there, it'll pull 8 at a time from one of the inventories. So now if we take a look in here, look at this. It's condensing them. So if we wanted to make this go faster and get more matter balls, which is going to be the limiting factor here in this entire output, we just make more igneous extruders and we upgrade them more. And so we could upgrade these from our reinforced integral components to the like next tier of integral components. I can't remember what it is that requires like the Enderium stuff. That would be 4 times, I believe. So it would increase this from 3 to 4. And then we could just put more down. And we already have 2 matter balls in there. So, it's really not all that slow. And if you're AFK in your world at any point, you'll build up so many of these. So then when you come to process ore, it'll be totally fine to run. So the last thing left to do really is just give this rotational power and for me to actually go find some ore to process that I have yet to process, which probably means running around and going to mine some because I don't think I have any just sitting on hand right now. I'll bring over some extra silver coins too, and we'll watch this thing work. And I think the last thing I should have to do for this is put down this large cogwheel here, and it should start working. So we can see that the blaze burner is now superheated and the mixer is running. Now, this is not currently actually going to mix anything because A, we have no ore in here. And I also totally forgot that we need to actually pull out the stuff from the basin and cast it once the time eventually comes. So we have a seared casting table right here. And I also have a nugget gold cast, and we've got a chest to put this into, and I'm thinking I honestly might have forgot to make a faucet. So that's embarrassing, but we're going to quickly put at least what I have down for now. So we're going to put down a casting table right here with a cast right there. Now, I don't believe that this can output into this, unfortunately, from its little spout. We do need to have a faucet here to output it, but we're going to be making a nugget. And this is because A, it's very fast to do, but also because I was advised by you guys a couple episodes ago in the other processing setup that when you're making the items from your liquid metals, if you run into issues with having like a little bit left over because you're getting whatever 1.5 ingots at a time, if you just cast it into nuggets, that's the smallest fraction that the game can do with these. So you will always get out all that you have. And so you'll never end up with this weird thing where you have a backup and there's a little bit sitting in here waiting and then it's not able to process the next one. So it's a little bit weird, and you can use compacting drawers to sort of auto craft this without having to worry. You could also do mechanical crafting and all that different stuff. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to leave it in nugget form for now, and maybe I'll make a wall over here where they get compacted and then put into each ingot. But we're just going to dig out below this and right over here, and we're just going to do a chest down there for now. And a hopper. So I do need to put the chest down like this, and then the hopper like that. And one last thing that I was advised on was that you can actually waterlog the casting table, and allegedly this makes it cool stuff off faster. Now, I don't think you can actually cool off nuggets any faster than they already cool off in form, but I'm still going to do it just to be safe. That was a really cool tip I had no idea about. So I do need to grab some water from back here yet again. And I am going to grab out our spruce trapdoors. Now, these might catch on fire from the lava. I don't actually know, so we got to be careful. But we're going to put down a trapdoor right there. Trapdoor right there. This should not affect the chest. Yep, we're all good. And then we're just going to put water right there and trapdoor right there. And there we go. Now it is waterlogged, and we can see it. It looks very funny under there. But there we go. And now the only other thing that I need is a faucet. So I forgot the faucet, but I'll go get that. And then we can come back and actually watch this in action. Okay, I've refueled the silver coins, which are going to get sucked out of here very quickly so that they can trade for some more blaze cakes over here. And I went and made these seared faucets so we can put those down right here. They can, in fact, pull out of the basin. I think I've talked about that before in this series, but in case you didn't know, they can, in fact, pull out of the basin and cast directly from there, which is super cool. And then finally, the way we make it work is simply by giving this a redstone signal. So the way I'm going to do that is by putting down a lever up here on this barrel. And that's why I said it needed to be a barrel, because there's very few places in this setup that you can put a lever without messing something up. If you put a lever over here on this, it would stop this hopper. If you put it over here, it would stop this hopper. So this is one of the few places you can put it that doesn't totally screw something up. And then we'll just put our crushed iron in there. And that's all I got while I was out mining. I ran into a cave and I didn't want to fight stuff, so I got the iron on the way down, and that was about it. But now if we look in here, it should get, once it's done, we got our iron dust in there, which means it should start mixing. Yes, it's going to take 3 of those in a ball. Then we got our 288 mil buckets, 576, and then boom. And there we go. Look at how fast that is. It casts so quickly. And then it's going some more. It's mixing some more. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. I absolutely love this. So you guys can see that eventually you will run out of matter balls in there, but they're infinitely produced, so there should be no issue with those if you AFK for a while. And down here, we're just going to get a bunch of nuggets. So we will verify that we put in there 7 crushed iron ore. And so we should get out, what would that be? 7 times 9. What is that? 63. So we should get out 1 under a full stack of iron nuggets. And, oh no, wait, what am I talking about? That would be if we, that would be if we processed each one. Okay, that would be if we processed each one time. No, we should get out then 4 times that. I am not totally bad at math. We should get out 4 times that. So that'll be 4 under 4 stacks of it. So, okay, well, we'll let that process and verify that we come in at 3 stacks and 60 of the iron nuggets, which is going to take a little bit, admittedly, because of how long it takes to cast. So you could always have this casting in multiple different places, but I'm not too worried. I mean, it's not that slow. But yeah. Well, I guess my math was right once I took a second to stop being stupid. So we came in at 4 under 4 stacks of nuggets, which is in fact 4 times ore processing, since technically 1 times ore processing, which is what I was initially thinking about, is going to be the 7 that we had times 9, which would come out to 63 nuggets. So that's it right there. It all worked perfectly. The system is running flawlessly. So all we got to do is dump anything we get in here. And we officially have the highest tier of ore processing that you can get in Create Above and Beyond. And it honestly wasn't all that bad. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe so you never miss out on a future one. And I'll talk to you guys later.